Beep, 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 beep.
Okay.
We're back.
Oh, sorry. I'm just off today, so we're back.
Oh, and I love your earrings, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Indira made them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Indira's my friend. She makes great earrings. Anyways,
Very pretty.
so our second movie is from Patty, is the classic Exorcist.
Fabulous movie. Yes, this movie came out in 1973, and I remember it like it was yesterday because I was in Toronto, standing in line for 2 hours, waiting to see the movie. And it's a book by William Blatley, and it's written about a true story about a 14-year-old Ronnie Doe Henkler, I think you say his name, from Maryland, and he started exhibiting strange behavior, talking in tongues, furniture moving,
Are you talking
bed
about
shaking.
the book?
Yeah, the true story.
Yeah.
And they bring in two priests, Father Bishop and Father Bowden, to give this kid an exorcism. And
After medical stuff hasn't worked.
right, yeah. And so from the book, so that this kid would not be revealed, Ellen Burstyn plays the mother, Linda Blair plays the young girl, Max von Sydow plays the elder priest, and Jason Miller plays the younger priest. And it's about a 12-year-old girl, Linda Blair, named Reagan, who starts behaving strangely, and her famous her mother, Ellen Burstyn at the time, in the movie, is playing a famous actress, and she starts noticing this behavior, and so she goes through all these medical procedures to find out what's wrong with her, and they come up with nothing, so she turns to the church because the mother believes it's demonic presence, right? And so the whole story is two priests, which is Jason Miller and Max von Sydow, who does an exorcism. And what makes this movie so amazing, I was blown away by it, because nobody really knew about exorcism at that time period, and it wasn't talked about, and it was kind of a secret Catholic thing. And if you're Catholic, it'll freak you out even more because it's very Catholic oriented. And you see her go through all these behaviors, and she gets worse and worse, Linda Blair. And you see the whole process of what an exorcism does. And I got to tell you, it freaked me out. I was so freaked out by this movie, and I love horror movies. I got to say, this movie I thought was, even to this day, holds up. Even though there's a million movies on exorcism, because this was such original, the makeup was unbelievable. The eeriness and the buildup of the movie was really like, you couldn't wait. And it was a pretty long movie, I remember, for the time. I think it was like 2 hours, and that at that time was a long movie. So I would definitely say I recommend it, loved it. I still watch it today, and it still freaks me out.
Does it freak you out?
Yeah, it's just too unsettling. It's very unsettling.
Okay, and Sean?
So, well, when this movie came out, I was 6.
Shut up.
So I did not see it when it came out in the movie theaters. I must have seen it, probably as a teenager. Because, by the time, it came out when I was 6, and then, stuff goes away, and then you see it like on repeat around Halloween or something like that.
Right.
So I probably saw it as a teenager. And I'm a horror. Give me the good horror. Give me bad horror. Give me
Horror.
Alien ships that you can see the strings on the, the B movies where you see.
Right.
I don't care. I love
yeah.
all that shit. Like it's so fun. It's just I love it. I love vampire, werewolves. You bring it on. So to me, when I watched it again just a few days ago. I don't necessarily know if I think it stands the test of time, like you said, as far as
The buildup of it?
no, but the actual possession, aspect of it, because we see in today's society, as we just as exorcisms, because you're right, back in 73, a lot of people, even Catholic people, didn't know what exorcisms were,
Especially if you were 6.
especially if you were 6. But people out there in the world, they didn't know that these things had happened, and like they even mentioned it a couple times in the movie, like if you were in 15 blah blah blah, like if you were 600 years ago, we might be talking about this, but we're they haven't done that for years. So, and even today, when people will look to their faith, once, if any, medical things, and even the church will push you towards medical
First.
reasoning before they even, consider, because we've come such a long way, medical like assessments and things, and depression and multiple ID syndrome. Different. That's not the way.
A lot of
the right
discoveries,
word.
new
A lot of
research,
discoveries in medicine.
For reasons for
Yeah,
Don't you find the horror was the medical procedures? That was half the horror.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah.
And
you're right.
I've always wondered, I've never looked it up, if those are real procedures, especially the one with the big needle. I don't know if that's a real procedure.
Well, I mean, yeah, they used to do the
Electrodes.
electric thing, and they, I mean, horrible things.
Yeah.
What's the one where from the cuckoo's nest that they do that?
Lobotomies.
Yeah,
They
lobotomy.
do it that way. Up the nose. Or
It's
they
through the
drag
eye,
it.
isn't it? Through the eye, or
They do
is
it through the eye or through the
or
nose.
through the nose? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. Well, it's now they've got it accurate, because they've got way more. Back when they used to do it, they like.
Oh yeah, there's.
But that was the
Let me guess.
tricky part, is watching the medical.
Yeah,
That was
that's
horror.
hard. That's
That was
harsh.
horror.
I think it's funny when I did research on this that they're
Get
right
those
there.
glasses on,
Ellen
girl.
Bernstein, Linda Blair, and the younger priest
Jason
were
Miller.
basically unknowns at the time. There was a lot of accidents to Linda Blair and to
Yes.
Ellen Bernstein during the making of this movie. It was the first horror movie to be nominated for an Academy Award.
And it was one of the highest grossing to this day movies. It's the 9th top grossing movie in Canada.
People actually had physical reactions, vomiting, nausea. Apparently, I don't know if this is true, that women lost babies.
Yeah, I
like,
heard of
because
stories
it was
of
so
heart attacks
physical,
and
because of this, because of this movie. I mean, it was a trendsetter. I think
it
for
really was.
That's
also,
really
and also
true.
at that time, I think there was a way of thinking, a certain mentality that you
yeah,
have now.
and
that
her
people can
language. I
watch
mean,
that and-
that's what I think was just like, are you kidding me, with the cross
Well,
and the
apparently they
whole
heard
and
that
this
the
and
movie just barely escaped an X rating.
Yes.
And then people were upset when they took their kids. Well, first gonna take the kids to see a movie R-rated anyways.
Yeah,
And
who's-
they see that, they're like, hey, that's what you doing now. We take your kid to see an R-rated movie.
Strong language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
they had
yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, loved it.
But yes, it's classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out, I was 2 years old.
Oh, shut up again.
So, but when I saw it in the 80s. I practically saw everything in the 80s because that's when I became aware. I guess
He's
my
in the
brain-
80s.
I'm an 80s
He's
kid.
lost in the 80s.
And then I was freaked out. I was probably like 10 when I saw 9, maybe when I saw it. It freaked me out completely. I thought that was the scariest movie ever. I saw it a couple of times since, and I kind of think of it as funny now. Like I've been watching a lot of old movies that I saw when I was a child, and that freaked me out. And I watch them now just to see what it was all about. And now I just find myself cracking up at them.
Yeah.
The Exorcist. Yeah, Linda Blair was. She won actually a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress for that.
Oh,
and for which she got death threats because people would
I'm sure- yeah.
thought
Oh my
she would
God!
go fine.
Yes, they had to,
So
they
it's
had
just
to get a they had to get a
bodyguard for her.
security.
Yeah.
Security.
So it's just people really get into the beliefs or the stories, anyways. And they say that the Catholic Church was the what they actually they were behind.
They wanted this.
They wanted the release because it showed the priests as heroes, so they were pro.
They just want, and they also liked that it was an intelligent presentation
And actually,
of the Exorcism.
it was interesting that the director said that he meant it to be a movie about faith, and it kind of morphed into a horror movie.
right.
And he said, "Well, it's a horror movie now." Then I guess because now considered one of the greatest, a classic horror film that the Library of Congress selected it for to be in the National Film Registry in
Yeah.
2010.
Absolutely.
And like you were saying, there were so many incidents on set, people getting hurt, and a lot of crew and actors, their family members died
Right.
during the filming of it. There was a thing where I think the whole house burned down, and the only room that survived was the actual room where they were shooting the Exorcist was, which was kind of weird.
It was probably so soundproofed and so insulated. You know,
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like,
probably
so
yeah, and also because they had it
structurally,
as a
they had to
freezer.
do the-
You know how they kept it so cold, like a
'cause
freezer.
they could- yeah,
so
it
when
was
Linda
real
Blair
red.
died, you can see her breath.
So yeah,
So she was
that
freezing.
part of the house.
But they
is
said that
maintained so
the
well.
director had the movie set blessed by an actual priest because they thought so many things were going on.
Because it hits all the thing of no matter what religion you grew up with, there's always that good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really hit people. It
was
made
it-
them uneasy.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
because I'm not religious at all, and this movie freaks me out.
Yeah,
but it was like, I think the actual in the book, it's actually a priest or an archaeologist finds, or a priest archaeologist finds this
Statue.
a statue, and the statue is of this god that's kind of an
It's a Babylonian demon, actually.
yeah, it's a
See,
Babylonian.
I didn't even really even when I watched it a couple days ago, I didn't get. I mean,
Connection?
I knew that there had to be a connection. Why would they spend so much time in the beginning of the
Right.
finding
And it's in
this
Iraq.
thing?
He finds it in Iraq.
Iraq, yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is that at that time they didn't have Wikipedia, so it's only till the second film that you find out that this is I forgot what it's called, like
Oh, okay.
It starts with a P.
like a Pizuzu something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Azusa.
And it's
That's it.
basically
Yeah.
a Babylonian demon.
But I was like, so this is my disconnect about the movie is like Max von Sydow doesn't, or the priest doesn't. He has no connection to this girl. So
Right,
how did
and
They
he's the one that
called
finds
him
it.
in the movie.
I think the
and
Catholic-
the original and what really happened is because the older priest has had experience with this.
Right, but this is after she's been
Demonized?
after she's been
Cleansed?
I thought
gotten possessed.
right.
Right.
This is so how did this little babaluba hooba hooba from Iraq?
Right, the priest
It
found
just
innocent
yeah
Blair.
that the priest found years earlier.
Land up there?
Yeah, affect this one little girl,
And there's-
or I mean, in the book,
And I
boy
always
or
thought
whoever.
that the possession came because she was playing the Ouija board.
Yeah,
And I don't know if have you guys ever played the Ouija board?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my god, that's so freaky. I
Okay.
just didn't.
Okay, I
So-
have to. Okay, the
What do you think?
Yeah, what do I think?
What do you
Susan.
think?
Well, I
Susan?
thought there were
Susie?
some interesting things. I thought that I don't know who was the producer or the director. He kind of, all the accidents that happened. He said, if the film was months, okay, but over a period of it was way over a year it took to shoot. And he said that you're going to have stuff happen.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
not people are going to die.
Yeah.
It's not that unusual, right? So that's kind of feeds into it. Plus, the Catholic Church was this was actually based on 1949 actual last exorcism that they did. That's on record,
Right.
of the Catholic Church. Okay. And so the Catholic Church was actually very behind this because as long as they consulted with the Catholic Church.
That's one thing I really liked in the credits. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
That they actually, there's two reverends that were on set, or
Yes.
priests that were on set.
Yes.
They give credit to them. They say they're
Yes.
in the credits. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So maybe that was one of the ones. that
Yeah,
did
probably,
water.
yeah.
But anyway, sorry, go ahead. Go
also
ahead.
to do with the it is actually a historical thing that was done. I mean, you remember the Jesus thing of casting out demons, right? It comes from that.
Yeah.
So, so that it's accurate in exorcism. It actually, this is loosely based on the 1949 last exorcism
Yep.
that was official exorcism that was done. So, it's good in a couple of ways. It's good if you just want to watch a scary movie, and it's really if you're historically interested because the movie is so famous that it's
Yeah, it's a
worth
classic.
watching because it's like history. And the second reason is it's historically accurate on exorcism.
Yeah, because really nobody knew
Because
anything
and people
about it.
don't do officially exorcism anymore.
Right.
So it's interesting on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Did you like it?
Yes, although I hate to say it, it never scared me.
Yeah.
I never found it frightening.
Right.
I found it interesting and sometimes ridiculous. But
I'll agree with you.
yeah,
I agree with you.
because I don't have that particular belief in demons and all that kind of stuff, but I found it historically really interesting.
And that time they had low budget effects too. Like
Yes.
They used a lot
But
of
they did great
electronics
with it.
on the bed. Yeah, they
They
did great with low
what they
budget
could,
effects.
Yes.
with what they had.
So
When that head swirled around. Because I'd never seen that before.
no,
It
who
freaked me
has?
out.
Who has?
You know what freaked me out? When she walks down the stairs upside down, backwards like a
But
spider.
that's the remake.
That freaked me out.
That remake,
Oh, really?
I hate when they remake because they always add stuff that you don't need to add. That movie didn't need anything added to it, but that freaked me out too. I don't watch
Any
that.
weird body stuff.
Yeah, the head around slowly. that freaked me out.
Okay,
All right.
so I'm ready to take a poll here. I'm going to go you last because it's your movie. George?
Well, I guess I have to give it a thing because don't hurt me.
I'm gonna, because I agree with Susie here. I'm actually gonna give it an 8,
Okay.
even though it's a classic and it should be watched. Give it an 8.
Yes.
I was going to give it a 9, and it is a classic.
I'll give it an 8 also because it is worth watching for many reasons, not just because it's going to scare you. You know, it's kind of it's Hollywood history.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so
Beep, 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 beep. We'll be back.